What if your deepest thoughts aren't just in your head, but actively shaping the world around you? For decades, science has shown that the mind can influence the body, heart rate, stress hormones, immune response. But what if that's only the beginning? What if the subconscious, the vast, unseen machinery beneath awareness, does more than regulate internal states? What if it subtly participates in shaping the reality we experience? This isn't a claim of magic, it's an investigation, one that sits at the uncomfortable edge between what science confidently explains and what it hasn't yet ruled out. Forget crystal balls and internet gurus. We're going beyond biofeedback, into the question of whether the subconscious is merely reacting to reality or quietly co-authoring it. Let's clear the fog first. The idea that the mind controls reality has been hijacked by charlatans selling instant enlightenment and supernatural shortcuts. These claims often collapse under scrutiny, and science rightly rejects them. But rejecting exaggeration doesn't mean rejecting inquiry. Biofeedback is real. We can learn to control heart rate variability, muscle tension, even some autonomic responses, using nothing but awareness and training. That alone was once considered impossible. So here's the deeper question. If the mind can measurably influence the body, where exactly does that influence stop? At the skin? At the nervous system? Modern science already acknowledges something remarkable. Thoughts change biology. Psychoneuroimmunology shows that mental states influence immune response, inflammation, and recovery from illness. Chronic stress reshapes physiology. Hope and meaning correlate with better outcomes. The placebo effect isn't nothing. A placebo can trigger real neurochemical changes, pain reduction, symptom relief, even motor improvement. This isn't conscious deception, it's the subconscious responding to expectation as instruction. The uncomfortable implication, the subconscious doesn't just interpret reality, it acts on assumptions as if they're real. Then things get stranger. The observer problem. In quantum physics, observation isn't passive. Measurement affects outcomes at microscopic scales. This doesn't mean mind over matter in a mystical sense, but it does challenge the idea of a fully detached observer. Your conscious mind is a narrator. Your subconscious is the engine. It processes pattern recognition, threat detection, habit formation, intuition, emotional prediction. It makes decisions before you're aware of them. Beliefs buried deep about safety, worth, possibility, shape what you notice, how you act, which risks you take, which opportunities you unconsciously avoid. When people describe gut feelings or intuitive leaps, they're often witnessing subconscious pattern recognition operating faster than conscious logic, and sometimes that leads to outcomes that feel improbable. Across cultures and history, certain patterns keep appearing. Synchronicity, meaningful coincidences, events that align with internal states in ways that feel statistically odd. Psychology frames these as pattern recognition, but some alignments go beyond easy dismissal. Collective experiences, crowd psychology, mass panic, shared emotional waves, proof that minds don't operate in isolation. At scale, shared belief can reshape behavior, markets, even history. Ancient perspectives. Long before neuroscience, traditions spoke of mind and world as intertwined, not separate objects, but interacting processes. None of this proves mental control over reality, but it does expose cracks in the idea that consciousness is merely a passive byproduct. If the subconscious shapes perception, behavior, and probability exposure, then influencing it matters, regardless of metaphysics. Practical, grounded techniques, not to manifest miracles, but to align internal systems. Focused visualization as mental rehearsal, not fantasy. Affirmations that target identity, not outcomes. attention training to reduce unconscious threat bias, emotional regulation to prevent stress-based decision loops. These don't override physics, they change the interface between you and the world. The ethical edge. If belief influences outcomes, where does responsibility lie? If expectations affect others, how do we use that power without manipulation? This isn't about control, it's about participation. The honest position isn't blind belief or cynical dismissal, it's curiosity with rigor. The subconscious may not be bending reality, but it may be filtering, nudging, amplifying, and constraining it in ways we barely understand, and that alone is profound. So the question isn't, can we control reality with our minds? It's, how deeply are we already involved, and what happens when we become conscious of that role? Not supernatural power, but interconnectedness, and perhaps responsibility.